We are playing Overlord of the Hauntwoods. The mono black Overlord has been a like big, awesome, sweet card. I actually want to play a mono black Devotion Shell with Heartless Summoning, and then the new Grim Tutor Devotion creature where you get to tutor equal to your devotion to black. But I've been wanting to try Overlord of the Hauntwood in the mono green Devotion Shell for a little while, and it's been shockingly good. It has been shockingly good. And the card does like it does a lot in the deck. And like let me just say like the baseline, a 3-mana ramp spell that gives you devotion and like has some like late game inevitability against control. That's not the biggest thing, but just like 3-mana ramp, 2 devotion in play that you can cast on turn 2 off your 1-drops. This by itself has been pretty good, and it gives you a much better like plan B Nykthos plan, because like previous iterations of devotion we've done recently, it's like you have Leyline of the Guildpact for devotion, but it's kind of tough to build up without it. But Overlord really changes that dynamic. Additionally, it's kind of like the black Overlord. When you have Crypt of Agadim, it's something that you can cast early to enable your plan, the same way this is cast early to enable your plan. But it's also just a kind of a 5-mana Titan that is a 6/5. If you have Scion of Draco in play, all of a sudden you're just like way ahead on board. Sometimes Leyline Scion in this archetype is a little bit small because you don't have that many creatures to back it up. It's also a 6-power creature when you do that for Fanatic of Rhonas. Again, this is very castable card in the deck, so the fact that this is also something that's enabling Fanatic of Rhonas sometimes is pretty relevant. Weirdly enough, Bristly Bill for me is just a card that I basically always want 1 or 2 of in this archetype, where this is a 2-mana creature that enables devotion for Fanatic of Rhonas and is also a very good mana sink for your Nykthoses and your Fanatics. The ability to sink your mana into this is awesome, and not only is Bristly Bill doing that, but Overlord of the Hauntwoods is also triggering landfall for Bristly Bill every single time. And I don't know, it's been like kind of limited testing. I've been playtesting a lot of decks over the weekend, but so far, okay. So one more thing. Sorry, there's one more point I want to talk to. So Overlord also, it makes a token that is every basic land type, so it gives you full devotion. And so far, it seemed like you don't need to play the triomes in the deck anymore. Now, I'll say this: we played a lot of mono green devotion, like in the last 6 months or so. I think the deck is actually pretty solid. We've had a lot of pretty good streams with the deck. Nothing too crazy, but I think you have a very good energy matchup, and your ability to ramp into a fast Karn puts you like pretty well against the rest of the field. The one big problem though is that you kind of have to play Leyline Scion in this archetype, but it's just a big problem that you have to play 2 triomes. Playing 2 triomes so that you could cast your Scions if you don't have Leyline was a big problem. But now that we have Overlord, I've just cut the triomes from the mana base, and the mana base feels so much better to just not have 2 tap lands in the deck. I would lose a lot of games just because I was a turn slower because I had to play a triome, or I had to fetch these triomes. But the Overlords like kind of solved that problem too, which is a really big deal. Now again, I want back to my previous thought. I think this deck has been pretty good. This is a deck that I think has kind of been underrated, that I've liked a lot. And so far in my testing, Overlord has been a pretty big upgrade to it. Overlord has been pretty dang nice. It felt like you needed one like more good enabler for the deck and maybe one more good payoff, and this is kind of both. At the moment, I'm not convinced that's something that I want to play, but let's see. I'm going to keep this hand. I'm a little bit unsure if I'm supposed to lead on Halfling or Utopia Sprawl. If my Halfling... I guess I should lead on the Sprawl, and then just try to make sure that I'm going to be able to go, like, Rumble into land. Maybe I draw land and I get to go Fanatic Halfling. That would be really nice, but we'll probably just try to Rumble into a land and then play Fanatic. A lot of Dimir lately. Okay, we do still have 1 tap land left in the deck. I've been thinking about cutting the Lush Portico, but we just already want to play a lot of fetch lands for our Bristly Bills. I don't know, it's a little weird. Oh, we did mill a Fanatic of Rhonas, though. That's actually very good, because if next turn we just get to go Fanatic, maybe... Probably Halfling also to make my Karn uncounterable. Ooh, a Basimilist. Got a 0-drop. Ronaldo, the 9 months. Thank you, welcome back. Ran Red-Green Flytrap with Saga at RCS Weekend 6-1. Awesome, congratulations. Does Overlord give you monsters for Fanatic? Not for 3 mana, but you're also casting this for 5 mana a lot of the time. We're going to be casting it for 5 mana this game, almost definitely. So they got their own Saga over there. Isn't this the kind of deck that could benefit from 1x Gemstone Caverns? We're a Utopia Sprawl deck with 4 Nykthoses already. So you might notice I'm not even playing Beside You. I think that it's just very important to make sure that you have the vast majority basic forests or forests for your Utopia Sprawls. Have I tested the Asmo Jägerbrew for the Deck Tech Friday? I haven't, no. I mean, I think the deck is very cool, and I think that deck was pretty good, but it's also like... Maybe I should cast Overlord now. Yeah, it's actually more mana to cast Overlord. I guess this is bad if they have Force of Negation. Yeah, we'll play around Force of Negation. Do I have Cityscape Leveler mana? Okay, I'm 1 short. It does seem like they're F6 for whatever that's worth. So I can get Umbral Mantle and win the game. Because I can make 2 infinite power Fanatic of Rhonas here. It's gonna be kind of click intensive. But let's do that. What was I talking about? So the thing is with Yeager, we played like so much Yeager last week that it's just kind of tough for me to be like, all right, guys, guess what's on the menu for today? That's right, more Yeager. We played it like 3 times last week. You ready for more? We got leftovers for dinner today, so I might get around to an Asmo build at some point, but I didn't work at Yeager all week because I want to get to some fresh stuff. You may be happy to hear, chat. There are 0 copies of Shifting Woodlands in any of the decks I have prepped at the moment. I have not a single Shifting Woodland in any prep deck. Chatters might be rejoicing. I spoke 51 months. Girlfriend's age 55. My IQ 55. So 55. Hell yeah. Kitty with the 3 months. Micah building Regwin Omniscience Woodland. Oh no. Well, you have an update on this one. Maybe. So okay. So I have a build that's playing the red-green instant, where you discard your hand and you draw cards equal to the number of types in your graveyard. I have that deck built. That deck I think is almost definitely worse than the build that we won our top 8 of the box with. So I don't know if I'm gonna play a build like that unless I can figure. I will not update Woodlands until I can find a better build, and I've just not found a better build yet. Will you pump the Halfling too? Yeah, I guess we could make Infinite Power Halfling also, right? Just a lot of clicks. 0 Woodlands deck, actually kind of curious. It's just very tough in your Utopia Sprawl deck to play Shifting Woodland. And Utopia Sprawl is just so paramount. But yeah, you could play Woodland. You could play like maybe 1. When is the big event? I need to double check when the Mox event is. So here we can go turn 2, second Utopia Sprawl, Fanatic of Rhonas, and then turn 3, Hardcast Overlord if we want to. Why Bristly Bill in this deck? So Bristly Bill is a 2-mana enabler for Fanatic of Rhonas that is also a mana sink for your Nykthoses and your Fanatics. You just get to dump all your mana into Bill's activation and have like a gigantic board of a lot of power and toughness. I'm confused why Overlord line was different against Force that turn. I was probably talking a little bit too much, but if I cast Overlord first, I want to be able to tap Fanatic after I cast it, so I have Ferocious, so it taps for 4. And I couldn't do that, and then also tap my Nykthos, and also tap, I don't know if I conceded, and also tap my Fanatic for 4, while also leaving my Delighted Halfling to make my Karn uncounterable. I wanted my Karn to be uncounterable, so I couldn't. I would have to have tapped my Halfling. All right, let's give this one a go. No Leyline for our Scion, but turn 3 ring. Does Blood Moon affect the Haunted token? I believe it does. We haven't seen 1 day ago playing Celestia Life Gain. Wowza. Looks like that's not what they're on today, though. Likely just an energy deck, which has been very good matchup so far. Have you ever tried the Mono Blue Belcher combo? Seems strongest combo deck in Modern. Yes, we've played a lot of it on stream. Oh, they're playing Storm. This matchup's not very good. Even worse when they kill you on turn 2. Yeah, we played a lot of it. I think we were maybe the first people to play like the Flare package in the deck, which I think has become a little bit more stock, which is exciting. Feels like every time they hit a Metamorphos, it's over. I think the Tamashi build is very good, though. There's a Ral with the ability to flip for the ultimate. If they win a flip, they're going to have many more looks. I just cut that Soulless Jailer, too. I'm going to pack it in. So in this matchup, we have Trinisphere to find off Karn. We have Tormod's Crypt. We have Haywire Mite for the Ruby. Not really that much. I'm going to want to leave the Trinisphere probably as a Karn target. We have Stonebrain. Stonebrain doesn't even have like good names is the problem. Okay, these Scions are also just like not doing anything, so I think I should bring in 4 artifacts for Scion. I think I'm going to bring in the Haywire Mite, Tormod's Crypt, Stonebrain, and then maybe the 4th copy of the Ring. And then when I go for Karn, I'm going to get Trinisphere into Metamorph for Trinisphere. Needle for Ral. Needle for Ral's okay. It's not. Stonebrain on Wish is not enough. Stonebrain on Wish is usually pretty good. Well, it either wins the game or does nothing. So I guess that is probably what we'll name. But I don't know. It's not. I don't know if I'm exactly enthused. Okay, cool. Because we have our Leyline, we can Utopia Sprawl on Nykthos, and then we can play a turn 2 Karn. I guess I should Halfling instead on turn 1. This way I can put a Utopia Sprawl on the Nykthos that I plan to keep. I can also draw a land and then be very happy. You just multi, you find Karn. For the most part in this matchup, yeah. Okay, I thankfully drew a forest here. Seems like I should just Utopia Sprawl, though, since I don't want to expose the Stonebrain to Static Prison. I've seen Corey play the Temur Breach deck. What are my thoughts? Yeah, I've seen Corey play it. I've played against Corey on it a couple times. I think that deck is good. I would recommend it. All right, I'm going to go for the Wish. All right. Okay, so that will not work again. That is not going to work in game 3. My opponent will bring in their Grape Shot, probably. Toes of the 23 months. Thank you. Welcome back. But I wonder if I should name Grape Shot. Have I tried a similar list with Enchantress? We played a ton of that archetype pre-Image 3. I think I was talking about this and got kind of derailed, but I've been looking at my old like pre MH3 build, and it seems like it's not going to be as good as this one. Like you just like you kind of can't beat the ring loops with that build, basically at all. And ring loops were not as popular. I mean, like I don't know, you can, but it's like All Is Dust is so bad, Wrath the Skies is so bad, and you just don't have Karn to pressure those decks. Maybe play Emrakul or something to get around it. But at the moment, I'm just more in on this build than that build. And I'm not convinced. I could play Explosives and try to Explosives on 2. I think I'm going to name Grapeshot with my Stonebrain if I draw it this time. Any changes to make to the Jund Delirium list? I mean, I like the main deck a lot. I'm not really wanting to change the main deck almost at all. Man, if we had any land here, maybe not the Portico, I guess. Be an exciting hand to keep. Opponents on a model 6, we're joining them here. Yeah, I'm very happy with the main deck of that build. I'm less sure on the sideboard. I don't know. Probably make some changes to the sideboard. Not sure what they would be. What are we doing here? I guess I am putting back Fanatic of Rhonas, but I'm going to keep. What does Leyline do in this deck? Well, we have Scion of Draco. You may be familiar with the Leyline Scion combo of everything having Hexproof, Trample, First Strike, Lifelink, Vigilance. It also gives you 4 Devotion for 0 mana, which is pretty dang nice. Let me know if I need to say anything else. There's good old Bristly Bill. So I guess what we should do is play Fanatic and then not play our land so that my Fanatic will just tap for 4 mana next turn. Did he work on Celestial Kira deck lately? No, of course not. Like Armageddon is just like probably at an all-time low with the whole Boros deck being so popular and so good. All right, there's a Ral, there's a Mire, 4 cards in their hand. There's a Glimpse and there's a Rin's Resolve. Are they out of rituals? Can they cast another spell? They can, right? The Glimpse, obviously. Lose the flip! They won the flip. So they hit 2 Metamorphoses, Artist Talent, and a Valakut Awakening. Oh, they can't cast this, though, right? Is this non-creature instants or sorceries? Instants or sorceries. So basically just 2 Metamorphoses and a Valakut Awakening. Pretty good, right? Plus 4 mana, plus like 6 cards or something. Probably going to be able to kill me. That being said, we get to counter the first Past in Flames. Wouldn't it be to have Weaver instead of Fanatic? You'd have to swap Halfling. Dumble, I have a whole other... I'm telling you, I have that deck built. I'm not playing Sanctum Weaver over Fanatic in this shell. That is just a completely different deck. Michael, 19 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. All right. Pretty dead now. I tried Souls Lost Mono Black Agadiga. Seemed very good in the league I played. Encourage to test off stream. Okay. Thank you, Simon. I will take that feedback. Although next time I play that archetype, I'm kind of wanting to be a Heartless Summoning deck. Was where I was wanting to go with it. This has 4 toughness in the Lightning Bolt Flage format. Sanctum Weaver has 2 toughness. Now, I'm not conceding here, actually, because I think that they boarded in their Grapeshot. I think the Grapeshot is in the deck at the moment. How about the Fulminators in the sideboard? Yeah, I think that's okay. I was thinking that when I go to the Heartless Summoning build, I'm going to play the Tutor Devotion creature from MH3. And the Tutor Devotion creature from MH3 and... Oh, they flipped Ral again. 17 loyalty. What a card. and have like one Fulminator as a tutor target. Okay, they hit an Empty the Warren, so it looks like they can probably wish for Grape Shot then. Michael, brewing so much makes cores look weak. No comment on cores, I guess. Wayne with the 26, thank you so much. If they just empty the Warrens here, it is beatable with like Ring Loops, Karn for explosives, so we're not conceding to just that. Did they already cast the Wish? Can of 6. Yellow Carpal Tunnel. Maybe. Yeah. I guess it could be for Geomancer's Gambit. That's true. Although it's not like a lot of times they're just playing Manamorphose Thassa's Oracle. Obviously, not sure. I like Geomancer's Gambit. Find a way to mill them. I'll get right on that. Urkel, the 39 months. Thank you, welcome back. Appreciate you. Like I was kind of under the impression that Thassa's Oracle was more stock. Although I think Geomancer's Gift is better because of like the situation. Like you want to be able to do this. They flipped a second route with a Wish. I think the second Exile's like, okay, cool. Okay, and then there's the Grape Shot. All right, glad we cast Empty the Warrens first. Why not auto yield to empty triggers? I don't know. I don't think you can auto yield to your opponent's sub. I guess maybe you can. Or you can't auto yield to spells. You can only auto yield to triggers. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Okay, so we have a Leyline. We have a Scion. We don't have a second land. I'm going to keep this on the draw, though. We even have 2 Leylines. And we have Bristly Bill plus double Fanatic as like the mana sink too. All right, that's easy work, huh? I meant in general as a value card. You can use it with Overlords to make them creatures instantly and stops Wars from getting injured after. I see. I think there could be something there, but for the most part, I would be not that interested in it. Where it's like, if I want to like cheat with the Overlords, I'm going to be using Felia, Vampire Hexmage, just like lower curve cards than Solemnity. But you definitely could do something like that. It would be on the table, I agree. Having second Leyline is just so comfy here against Boros. Could Heartless Summoning Overlords be a thing? I think you could build a mono-black Heartless Summoning build with Overlords. We were just talking about that moments ago. It's something I want to work on. Hope to be working on soon. Okay, so my Karn can shut off their ring. Let's see what we draw. Another Scion. It's pretty good. I think I'm going to play Fanatic instead. And then I want to minus because of Static Prison. I guess that's not the most important. Seems like it'll be fine. I think I just grab my own. You could also get like Cityscape Leveler here, Explosives here, Haywire Mite could be okay. This game also doesn't seem very losable for whatever that's worth. So they do have a Static Prison. They're going after Leyline. Did they found double Static Prison? Guide of Souls. Plays Flage, kills Karn. Okay. So thankfully not. Karn down, Ocelot Pride triggering, drawing cards with the ring. Not sure how we're faring. Okay, I'm gonna be playing second Leyline here, almost for sure. You know, we drew that second land on time. And even if they gain millions of life with Guide Pride, we'll be able to eventually draw a land and then Bristly Bill and like double the counters, double the counters, double the counters. There was an Arena of Glory. We don't really care about a Hasted Flage at all. We also played a Ring this turn, right? Yeah. They discharge their own Guide of Souls, main phase, for 3 energy. I don't know what they need that for. Or they just want the card in the yard for the Flage. They might forget about the Ring Protection, because I forgot about it for a second. Three Guide of Souls is so many. Another Ocelot Pride. Okay. Well, maybe the biggest problem is them crashing Magic Online. I found your improvised Eldrazi on YouTube and won RCQ this weekend. Awesome. Yeah, I think that deck was so sweet. I love that deck. Hope we can draw a land of the top 3 and then start going crazy with Bristly Bill. Another Karn for explosives would be nice also. Okay, there's a land and a fetch land. Although Nykthos is gonna be better. So let me just get the halflings down because they're effectively free. Then play Nykthos, counter on a Scion. And then I will double to 2, double to 4, then double to 8. And then we should have lethal next turn, even through all this. So if my opponent finds 2 more static prisons next turn to get both of my Leylines, that'll probably get the job done. But they're not going to be able to beat me activating this like 4 or 5 times. 34 energy in their pool. Yeah, they could also crash the client. Is it Blood Moon? Another ring. Okay. Fair enough. Not only can I find a Karn, though, I also have 6 that can retrace Karn, and I have Rumble to dig for 6 or Karn to explosives on 1 next turn. Bristly Bill has more text than I remember. Right, plays a very useless Flage. Now, hopefully Magic Online doesn't crash. Probably won't because they didn't play the 3rd Ocelot Pride. I think the client has also gotten better at handling the Pride triggers. I don't know if that's just something I'm like imagining or what. Although notably, I'm not gaining my life off my attack because the pro everything. Magic keeping track of this in paper. Yeah, I haven't played paper Magic in a while. Oh, I also don't know if I said this. So last week I was saying it's going to be a short stream week this week. The event that I was going to be going to is canceled due to a hurricane in Tampa. I can't say what the event is yet because it's likely going to get rescheduled, but I was pretty excited for it. We'll talk about it later. But the stream week is gotten longer. We're going to be streaming Monday through Thursday, still taking Friday off. Okay, they packed it in here. We also get our 3rd Leyline back, so just gonna get them there. It is fun to be able to just kind of like they do their thing, you do your thing, and just kind of inevitably favored. All right, let's keep. Infinite power trampling Fanatic. The problem there is they have protection from everything, but so we didn't want to go for the Umbral Mantle if that's what you're suggesting. But yes, we did have an Umbral Mantle available to us. Let's give this one a go. Fanatic is quite good against them. Ring is quite good against them. They did also keep 7. Right on time. Do you still want to draw one of these to assemble Leyline Scion at some point? First Overlord of the day. No, we cast this in match 1. Match 1 was just maybe fast. I think the Graveyard 6 here, it's kind of close. I would just love like Utopia Sprawl or something like that. Is there any artifact that has the damage can't be prevented line? There might be. I don't think it's very important though. Like I don't know that it's something that we're really super interested in this shell. We didn't get to cast it. They scooped as we were getting infinite power. I thought we cast it. Maybe I'm misremembering. So we're probably gonna fly the cat here. Oh, okay. Less damage for them, I guess. Not a big deal. So I think I'm gonna set up this turn, which is a little bit weird. But I think I want to go Leyline this turn into next turn Nykthos out Overlord, then Fanatic for the ring. I guess this could be kind of bad against the Ajani ult. It wouldn't be that bad. Maybe it wouldn't be that good either. They did miss their land last turn, which is good news. So cool line in standard with Overlords. They were Orzhov. They used Beseech the Mirror to sack an Overlord and then find a spell to reanimate it. Probably not a modern power level thing, but it is pretty cool. I wonder if there is like a modern power level like effect like that. I guess you could get like Living In maybe. What's my take on the recent RC? I paid very little attention to it. It's Pioneer. Right now I'm just viewing myself as a full-time modern deck builder who has a couple PTQs coming up that are sealed in modern, so I just am not thinking about other formats at all. I spent my weekend playtesting modern, playtesting the game that me and my friends are building, working on or reading a lot of Way of Kings. Watched the Penguin. Penguin's show's been pretty good. Yeah, I saw that the Overlords trigger Helga. I saw a little bit of Ash's stream playing them. Yeah, I saw that like the Doom's Cauldron Tree of Perdition deck won, but I don't like have a take, you know. If the question is what's my take, I don't have one. I saw that. I'm like, wow, that's cool. This is devotion. You can see with our Nykthos Shrine to Nyx there. And our Karn the Great Creator, this is devotion. How's Kings? I'm like 400 or 500 pages in. I like it. I like it. It's a little corny, but I'm really enjoying the book. Okay, so if they ultimate Johnny, we're probably keeping Leyline Fanatic Ring. The Penguin is so much better than Andor. You can't say that in this chat. Oh, they have Stomp. Okay. Game 3. Alright, on the play. Game 3. Oh, the flashback chapters. I find my eyes glaze over despite loving books. I don't know. I like the flashback chapters to some extent. Like, the stuff with like Kaladin, I think is like way more interesting than the stuff with the other characters. But I'm still enjoying the other characters, and I didn't mind the flashback. The flashbacks were like have not been so bad either. There's only like a few of them. We're surveilling. It's actually very important to keep this Leyline. We need to symbol Leyline Scion. We can also it's also effectively going to be mana neutral for us next turn because we can oh wait, so I guess we can't actually cast it and then activate Nykthos because of the halflings only making colorless. Graveyard's Bone Crusher Giant. Plays Goblin Bombardment, but they're not triggering Ocelot Pride this turn. Bombardment is pretty scary, though. We're going to need a good ring this turn. We'd be missing 1 mana regardless. Oh, no, you're right, yeah. So maybe I think we still have to get Symbol Leyline Scion, but maybe this was incorrect. We can still... we can cast Scion if we draw it here, though, so that is a good argument for keeping it, maybe. My opponent doesn't kill any halflings or anything. So I can Overlord Impending, and then I can activate Nykthos, but this is bad if my opponent kills a halfling in response. I kind of just don't think they'll kill a halfling in response. And they didn't, thankfully. Is there a cheap flicker effect for the Overlord so it becomes a creature? Tomb Seer less. The best one is Thalia. There's a few more. I built a black Thalia Overlord deck. Oh, are we dead? It's gonna be pretty close if we're not dead. No, they're not gonna have 13, are they? They're gonna have like 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11. So I'm going down to 13 and then down to 2. So I'm down to a bolt. Can ring loop here. So I'm gonna lose this game if my opponent has any other creature in their hand. And they're gonna have 4 cards. So I mean, they didn't cast another creature this turn though, for whatever that's worth. I'm gonna tap this now. I'm okay. We did find Scion, which is cool. So the problem is we still get killed to the bombardment if they have any creature. So hopefully they land ring. They kill my Leyline in response. Okay, I still have protection from everything, and I have another Leyline in my hand, so we need their hand to be no creatures. Right, that'll kill me. Tough. Okay, let's do one more with Green Devotion, and then maybe we pivot to one of the backup decks. Probably start with Dimir. I don't know. I don't know which backup deck I'm more excited for. Dimir's the one I've rented at the moment, though. We're very focused, very managed, very controlled, but I don't know. I don't think I could ever do a gambling promoted stream, at least. Fluffy with the tier 1 for 6 in advance. Thank you so much. I don't even play Modern Moto, still here every morning. Thank you, Fluffy. That's very nice of you. What's the main format in Vegas? I think the main is the sealed event I'm playing. I might be misunderstanding. It's also Worlds is also Vegas, like it always is. Okay, that is a dead Delighted Halfling. Not probably a great spot to be mulling to 5 in. Yeah, I like to watch poker. I don't really like to play it so much though, thankfully. I don't think I'm gonna play any poker in Vegas. I love you telling us we're doing so to Vegas and pretending that isn't promoting gambling. I will say I used to be kind of a constructed Andy, thinking that sealed is like this very, very like big high variance format, and to some extent it is, but as someone who's spent like the last like couple years, every time I have a limited tournament coming up, I spend a lot of time preparing. I prepare with some very good players, mostly Amaz, who is just super, super good at limited. And I think the limited is an incredibly skill testing format. I think it is a lot more skill testing than Constructed Andes like to give it credit for. Maybe I was supposed to not play into Counterspell. I mean, I'm on a Mold of 5 against Dimir, which is just always going to be a pretty tough place to be. Let's go to game 2. Like if you were an average player with like the best possible pool, I would still rather be like an expert in the format with like an above average pool than like an average player with like the perfect pool almost. Does preparing and the requirement of skill make the RNG any less though? Yes, like yeah, absolutely yes. Like in my Minneapolis pool, I did a lot of prep, and I feel like I had an above average sealed pool, which is obviously nice, but 3 Leylines? No Scion, no Nykthos. I guess we mulligan. It feels kind of bad. Keep this one, though. Let me put back a Leyline against Dimir. But yeah, like I don't know. I felt like I was just I could feel my prep and my skill carrying over. Like I don't know. I really think Constructed Andes like to shit talk sealed and don't prepare for it. Like they don't prepare for constructed tournaments either. Sealed is a format that you really have to take a lot of hours to like really learn. So if we draw a land, we can cast Overlord next turn, just like the hard cast. So they take it. Sprawn with the 24 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Now I'm actually going to activate Nykthos here. So if I find a Karn or a ring, I can just resolve it. Ding, ding, ding. Ring, ring, ring. My opponent says, "What is going on?" All right, good luck to you, opponent. All right, I'll check it out, Sprawn. I think things getting for the 2 years. You have some really awesome nut draws with this deck. Game 3 on the draw is going to be maybe tough, though. And maybe very easy. Draft, however, I think is so much more skill intensive. I don't know. I think that they're different. At the very least for me, especially back when I was a big like paper grinder, I would struggle a lot more with draft or sealed than draft. Although maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just because I played a lot more draft, I guess. At the very least, I've been like pretty happy with my sealed game the last couple of years. Going to Charlotte for the Modern RC. I haven't played any RCQs. I hope to play 1 or 2. Hopefully, just qualify. But I'm not going to be able to play that many. What do you think of the Tamashii Charbelcher deck? I like that deck a lot. I think it's very good. I think Tamashii is better than playing Selective Memory. I think that deck is great. I would still probably be playing Shoal over any like I would be playing some combination of like Flare Shoal instead of the this hand is great against Dimir instead of I think main deck Pact of Negation is wrong. I think Pact of Negation is worse than the Shoals and the Flares. Sealed is deck building, but you can't net deck. Can't imagine more skill testing that. Yeah, I agree that sealed is very skill intensive. I think it gets a bad rap. All right, so probably taking one of my Scions. If I draw a Utopia Sprawl or Halfling, we can just cast an Overlord hard cast on turn 2. It's a lot more costly to practice sealed than draft. I almost disagree. I don't mean to be too much of a contrarian, but it's like you can practice draft for free much easier than you can practice or you can practice sealed for free much easier than you can practice draft for free, because you can just free on mini sites just open a practice sealed pool and build it, without any like variants, without any bots. Like you can't draft against bots very effectively, I think. But you can draft let's keep a land here. And then I'm gonna basic forest just in case they have Harbinger. Yeah, but you can draft against you can just build your sealed deck for free over and over and over and over again, where you can't draft against bots very effectively. Do sealed pool generators take into account known print runs of packs? I don't know. They didn't kill my Fanatic. If they tap out for Harbinger, I don't know if they can beat my Scion. I can even go Scion into Hardcast Overlord because this will have Ferocious. But then how do you temperature read your deck as built if you don't get to play games? I mean, it's obviously not a perfect system, but I'm just saying it's easier to practice for free. Was all I was trying to say. Be kind of funny if they just didn't have a counterspell. They do, of course. If we do get to resolve one of these, it's really nice because it just doesn't die to Fatal Push. Okay, third Thoughtseize, kind of brutal. A lot of good top decks though, and they've got only 2 cards in their hand. Seems like I'll have to activate the Nykthos first here. And then we'll just turn our Fanatic into a real threat. I like putting the counter here so that like if they have push and they have to kill my bill, then I have a 3/6 instead of putting all my eggs in one cactus. Colin Robinson with the 45 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. All right, 2 cards in their hand. It's one of them a Murktide. Unfortunately, one of them is a Murktide. Their draw was very good this game. Our draw's not been so bad either. Five. Yeah, it looks like I'm 1 short of being able to activate Bill, so we'll just cast. Obviously, was hoping for like 6 or Scion or Karn or Ring, but we'll take Bill. 2 cards in their hand. Dad with the 4 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Now, this has lived for a long time, so I'm not necessarily thinking that they have another removal spell. And if we draw a land, we can present lethal. Been playing Scale Up with FOMO. Feels good. That's kind of interesting. Does Moda offer Phantom Limited for cheap? No, but there are other sites that do. Herity, good morning, good morning. All right, so I'm taking 8. They have 1 card in their hand. I'm down to 10. Lands are good, spells are good. I thought they were Phantom Draft leagues. Phantom Draft isn't free. It's just that you don't get to keep the cards. They're asking about free, right? Okay, so I can either attack for 5, or I can leave this back and then double the counters. Seems like attacking, or sorry, attack for 7. Seems like attacking for 7 is better. They said cheap, not free. Okay, I misread. Is their last card Bowmaster? Kind of has to be. Oh, Sheriff Shot. Just trying to see if this was missing anything. Looks like no. Okay, they have 1 card in their hand. They're attacking with a lot of confidence, which kind of makes me think that they found a counterspell off the top. Which makes this draw very interesting, because I have the ability to play around a counterspell by just putting 2 counters doubling. It's kind of a bummer because like I'm 1 mana short of presenting lethal without like doing anything. So I mean it's just 2 counters. I also lose to push on this. No, Bill is not a mercenary. Bill's too good of man. I think the speed that they just like immediately attacked with the Murktide makes me think that they top deck the counterspell, so I'm going to not retrace, and I'm just going to go to combat and attack. Also loses to an orc. So I guess we could play around an orc by just like not doing anything until after blocks. Although I guess we still lose to an orc. Yeah. You have lethal on board, right? Yeah. I'm just I got a card in their hands, so we're thinking about what to play around. Now I'll be able to retrace Scion second main phase, so if they do have a removal spell or like a sink into the stupor, we should be okay. Although, sorry, I guess we beat push on Bill, but sink on 6 means I can't retrace the Scion. Alright, opponent says GG's. I'll say GG's back. Alright, nice. So we're on the draw against a Gigantha. I'm going to keep, and then we're probably going to go Portico into Sprawl Halfling. Might be a little slow on the draw. Might be a little slow on the draw. Keep that on top for Ragavan. Did you think about chumping Murktide? It didn't seem like the correct play. It could have been our line. We're still going halfling instead of Fanatic. Okay. Look, maybe we can have one of our own of those. I think I'm happy enough to trade for the Ragavan, take 1 down to 16. Feels like they likely have another copy of Ragavan in their hand. I'm going to go play Utopia Sprawl, Fanatic, and 6. See what happens. Yeah, the Hurricanes are crazy. I actually had an event that I was going to be going to in Tampa this Wednesday, and I can't go anymore because of the hurricane. I hope we have all of our East Coast chatters are staying safe out there. Our channel puts on the way of doing deck tech. Yeah, but also I'll do some if we're like in between rounds of a challenge. I'll sometimes do some for free. North Carolina here. Good luck. How's everything been going? Bad, probably. In a word, bad. Alright, losing game 1 to Boros is not going great. FEMA offered 750, all those affected. So I've been seeing a lot of this only 750, but like, isn't that just like step 1 so people can get food, and then there's just like an ongoing relief effort after this? Like that's at least been my understanding, is that I'd love to hear from anybody like actually there, like how is FEMA doing? Because I see everybody just memeing about the 750 over and over and over again. But is it? I feel like that seems like a pretty nice thing to have. Here's 750. You could buy food for a week, and then we're gonna get. That's not all that's happening. Where near Asheville, FEMA hasn't really been present. The issue with 750 is you have to apply online, and some people don't have power to do that. That seems tough, yeah. But also, like, I mean, obviously that's awful. I don't know if there would be Because for them to electronically transfer it to you, I don't know how. I guess they could maybe just do it. Be able to swipe your card still. That is good feedback. That's the biggest thing about this hurricane stuff though, is like the people there have like lost power and it's like so hard to get to them. Like I feel like I've been seeing like basically nothing from people actually affected. 750 isn't a gift, it's a loan. I thought they said that they weren't going to be seeking repayment on it though. That it's usually a loan, but they said it's not going to be this time. But maybe I'm misunderstanding. Obviously, there's like just tons of misinfo about all this stuff everywhere. I think we'll rumble this turn. Grab a 6. So I don't want to block and get 3 damage burn spelled here after first strike. Second Ocelot Pride, 2 cats. Goodbye, Sweet Ring. The most beloved modern card. Hello, Amteraptor. My most beloved modern card. Into Bombardment. Gross. No cats coming down, thankfully, but double cat Bombardment is just pretty dang tough. Do we have enough mana to Karn for explosives? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so if we find oh, that's 1 short. Dang it. Dang it. Alright, no Leyline, no Graveyard that. We could maybe retrace with 6. Pretty dead. Let's switch over to the backup deck, I think. Energy matchup's maybe not as good as it was before they were playing Rings. Wait, is this Timmy? This is Timmy, okay. Let's pivot over to backup deck. So I've also been liking this build here. So this is, okay, now fingers crossed we don't immediately queue into Wrath Disguise, which seems to happen every time we have this cope, but there was barely any Jeskai control in the leagues last week, and this build is also able to main deck Force of Negation, so it's not so big a problem. But we've like kind of worked on the shell a little bit. I don't know if I've actually played Besim Asmo on stream before, but when I was working on it, I always felt like the deck was just so close, but like is overflowing, where you want to play 4 Mox Amber in your Imri Besim Asmo deck. You want to play 4 Mishra's Bauble for your Imri Besims. You need to play your cookbooks. I think you need to play 4 Oval Chase Daredevil. You need to play 4 Psychic Frog in your Dimir deck with Oval Chase Daredevil. This card is just too good. You really want to play Force of Negation so that you can interact for 0 mana, which like Force of Negation is very good at the moment, and it's awesome in a deck with so much card advantage. You really want to have Kappa Cannoneer also, but it just felt like the list was always too tight because you also played Shadow Spear, Urza Saga, and Haywire Mite sometimes. But after like, you know, doing some playtesting, like Urza Saga was just like bad every single time. Urza Saga, it's like every time I played Urza Saga, it just felt like I was time walking myself. And Urza Saga is really, really awkward in a deck with 8 Dimir 2-drops. Kind of like our other Besim list, right? Like the one we top 8'd the last time we played Besim, the challenge top 8 list. And so I've just not been playing Saga and really, really liking it. In fact, I've even playing Lore and Revealed in our land slot here. So we have like 20-ish lands, where Lore and Revealed is the highest quality cycler, like you just the best to hard cast. It also pitches to Force, of course, and it also is a discard enabler for Asmo too. And I've been loving Lore and Revealed here. Kappa Cannoneer has been feeling great. The deck as a whole has been feeling really, really solid. Really, really solid. 24 mana sources, 20 mana sources. The the box embers, yeah. It is a lot of mana sources, but also like having Lore and Revealed as like the flood insurance has been really nice, and then we also have a ton of card advantage, and so like the extra mana is not so bad anyways. But I've just been liking the deck. Just been liking the deck. For some reason, I always kind of feel like Mox Amber is just drawing a card off Basim. I don't even like think of it as a mana source. It's like a what it is. Did I try Tamio? Tamio is an option for the deck. I was thinking you could play one Tamio over Emery number 4. But our instant sorcery counts is just like a little too low for Tamio. We only have 8, and like Lore and Revealed isn't a great one to buy back with Tamio. So like it does make artifacts, which is nice, but I think for Tamio to be good, you really need her minus to be particularly effective. So we're definitely going to keep this hand. I'm also like, I hate to say this too, but Asmo is, I've been like really liking Asmo, and I've been casting it. Would Emrakul be playable if the discard thing or it costs 6, not colorless? I mean, it doesn't matter, right? It costs 6 colorless, so it's not playable here. That is the text on the card. We don't need to imagine would it be. We have to take the title too. So I hope that they take Asmo, not Basim. But either would be fine. Why no Street Wraith? There's not a lot of room is the big thing. Lore and Revealed kind of like serves that purpose, although you can't turn on Asmo. I think Lore and Revealed is better overall, and you know, it's not like the life loss is inconsequential. Also, when you have 4 Wraith, 4 Bauble, like your mulligans are so awkward. You just have like 3 of these, you're like, well, this hand is either we just have no idea how good the hand is. I know adding Saga is a lot, but Lifeline and Kappa is like getting free wins with a bagel sometimes. I mean, yeah, obviously it's not like there's nothing going on with Urza Saga in this deck, right? Of course, let's save this Bauble to trigger the Basim. I'm going to crack this one now, so if they have Bowmasters, it's a little less painful. Of course, it's not like there's nothing going on with Urza Saga in this deck. Of course, the lifelink is very important. You still have life gain in the deck with foods, and Urza Saga is so bad in a deck with 8 Dimir 2-drops. It is just so awkward that you can't like play one of these 2-drops on turn 2 and play Saga turn 2, which is, of course, when you want to play Saga usually. Alright. And Kappa Cannoneer is still good without the Shadow Spears. Alright, let's draw a card. Just an island. Let's take a look at our top one. It's an Asmo, so I'll certainly be keeping that. So I'll play this so I can also Surveil, get in with Basim. Asmo also draws a card off Basim. Like, Basim is, like, you know, it's been good in all of these shells or whatever. It's been, like, extra good here. We'll probably sack a food for 3 life also. No beats of the 51 months. They go come back. Yeah, definitely doing a lot of work to do more than just be a streamer. Alright, we're surveilling. We're triggering Basim next turn, so I'm just going to go ahead and crack a food, gaining 3. And they draw a card with Tamio in response to flip Tamio, but they're flipping Tamio. Oh, sorry, I thought they cast the Scour. You ever have an opponent just tap out? I guess they're scared of Bowmaster. So Asmo draw a card. Nice. So I think I'm going to save the Box Amber to trigger Basim next turn. And I could just pitch Basim to force if they play something I really want to force, but if they like Fatal Push Basim, I'll just let it resolve and cast my other one. Asmo's been like very good against Dimir. When I was playtesting this deck yesterday, I think like 3 of my 4 matches were against Dimir. The matchup was pretty good. Different flavors though, some Nethergoyf, some Ice, some just normal Murktide. And so when I was playing against these decks, I was trimming a Mox Amber, all the Force of Negations, and then playing Fatal Push and Nile Spellbomb. Asmo, the only good red removal against Frog Yam. I mean, Discharge can be good if you have two of them. Unholy Heat can be good too. Yeah, no Time Sieve in this build. I don't think you want to play Time Sieve unless you have Manufactor. Otherwise, you're just like not doing enough, I think. We're also like not as good at getting Cookbook in play because we're not playing Saga, but I think that's also just okay. It's because like we're not all in on Asmo. We have 4 Basim, 4 Frog, and 4 Emery is like just other value engines. Another deck that folds the Leyline? I don't think this deck folds the Leyline. Leyline turns off your Emerys and your Daredevils, but you're still a Basim, Frog, Kappa Cannon in your deck. Leyline is like okay against us. But of all the decks I've played in the last 2 weeks, maybe it's just like I've played so many decks that are actually just like dead to Leyline lately. I don't mind. Do you think Sade's name is good with Saga and a Thopter Sword Shell? Like go Sultai. I don't know. I mean, that sounds incredibly slow and dirtily and probably bad against most decks. Also, if you, one thing is about Sade's name. If you play Sade's name in Modern, you have to have 1 mana removal spells in your deck. Otherwise, you will lose to Bowmaster. I never realized cards like Lord enabled an Asmo. Yeah, back when we played a lot of green-based Asmo decks, we would Besage you to cast Asmo sometimes. Wouldn't Ring be a good option out of the sideboard for control? You could, yeah. I mean, it's kind of high in the curve. You could also play it in the main deck if you wanted to. Yeah, I would agree that it's an option. I'm going to keep my 7 on the draw here. Why the full forward Lord revealed? That just doesn't seem to have a crazy amount of synergy. I mean, it pitches to Force of Negation, it lets you cast Asmo, and it also like is just very castable in a deck with 4 Mox Ambers. The card quality on Lord Revealed is pretty high. I think most people would agree with that. So the card has been very good. I had 3 in my first draft yesterday and ended up going up to 4 after really liking it. I was really hoping they would just play a Frog here and I could go Basim, Mox Amber, Fatal Push. In a word, it's been good. And so we're playing it 4. Sometimes doesn't have to be all that complicated. Playable Frog deck, you keep using Master Death and Squeed. The thing is, like, Frog is just good without, like, the like Oval Chase Daredevil synergy, so I don't think you need to do all that. Okay, so we won't get to cast our Cookbook this turn, but it's a Spell Pierce. Okay, I thought it was gonna be Push on Basim. Obviously, this is, I think I'm happier than this for this to happen instead of Push on Basim. Like, this is, you know, just 0 mana, draw a card, make them discard a card. Is there another way to make Karn a 1-card combo without Clock of Omens? I'm using 2 Surgical Metamorph, arena only card with Pestilent Cauldron. I mean, if there may be an arena only way, I don't think that there's a better way for Modern. But there could be some arena only cards that let you do it. As far as I can tell, Clock of Omens is the best one. We didn't find another one in our testing. Okay, I like that we can push a Bowmaster in response to the trigger here. Dayu with the 3 months. Thank you. Welcome back. I'm just going to go ahead and Island Cycle first. I've already drawn my card. Okay, that's fine. Another 2 for 1. Would love for them to play a Frog into my push here. Low 8-ster with the 4 months. Appreciate you. Looks like they have a Oculus instead, and I don't have Revolt right now. Should I push the... Oh, it's the Manifest tokens on my turn, so never mind. Yeah, surprised I didn't drown the Basim. Yeah, Shoot the Sheriff. We had a long conversation about Shoot the Sheriff recently, but yeah, I'm higher on that card than I used to be. I don't think I've said that. All right, so they Manifest Dread. That is a very timely top decked Delta here. I'm just gonna cast an Emery. Can you talk about Force through Flare considerations? Yeah, Flare is not playable in this deck. We have no creatures that are good to sack to Flare. We have a lot of card advantage engines, so Force is a bit better than it usually is. But it's not really more complicated than we have nothing good to sack to flare. Okay, my opponent is attacking for 2. I'm going to take 2. They get to Manifest Dread again. They're going to trade the Nile Spellbomb. Okay, well, I guess this is interesting because now I don't have to tap the Emery here. So maybe I could draw a Bauble and something and then use the Emery. Okay, so this makes my second Emery 1 cheaper if I were to cast it, but I think instead what we'll probably end up doing is... Oh no, sorry. I needed to tap the island. I guess it'll be okay. We'll just not pay a black, and then we'll Fatal Push the Oculus. We will replay the Nile Spellbomb. And then get in for 4. Would a discard package be better with Oculus instead of a counterspell one? So I mean, there could be a black-based Oculus deck. We've been kind of talking about this, like a Stitcher Supplier, Unearth, Flare of Malice, Chthonian Nightmare, Satoro build. The problem is these builds are very, very, very bad against combo. Counterspells are just so much better than discard spells against combo decks these days. But it could be possible. So you get to flip Tamiyo. Stunlock. Thank you for the 10 months. Always getting stunlocked over here, huh? If they attack with the Goyf, I probably will just sack the Spellbomb now so that... so I could just replay it off the Emery for my Basim card, and then I think that this game feels like I'm racing, and so just like the gain 2 life seems pretty worth. Cookbook is nice. Let's just go and start off and cast Cookbook. This doesn't get a counter if it hits Planeswalkers. So it seems like I should probably just ignore the... Oh, sorry, I missed a counter on my Frog, because I should be discarding the Daredevil before I cast an artifact. I don't think it'll likely matter too much, though. If you push the Oculus Spellbomb trigger on the stack, when you exile the Oculus too. Oh, yes, sorry, I should have done that. Just gonna do this now to play around Surgical a little bit more. Two mana, 6/6, unblockable. Draw 4 cards. Nobody plays this card but me. Yeah. Also, no one plays this card. Alright, dead. Also dies the flesh. But they're pretty cooked to my Frog. They have 1 card left in their hand. They can't Tamiyo the pushback because we have Nile Spellbomb. They do plus. I mean... You can present lethal through this. I think it's very unlikely that they have another push in their hand. Doesn't seem like we have to go for anything, though. Don't think I'm untapping anything. See if we mill an artifact. We do mill a Bauble, so I can go discard here, Cookbook, and then that gives me an extra discard effectively. We'll target the Bauble. Discard both Daredevils. Play the Bauble, bring back both Daredevils. Discard a Daredevil again. And then fly the Frog for lethal. Remember the Tamiyo +1 is active. Thank you, Squeamish, for the 12 months. Appreciate ya. Doing my best over here. My opponent taps a mana just as a... Oh, I forgot that they had Tamiyo in play to block. That's okay. Doesn't change anything about our line, I guess. For some reason, I don't know. I totally blanked on it. Alright, second Frog, your turn. Would be bad if they could ultimate the Tamiyo this turn. We maybe would still beat a Tamiyo ultimate. All right, a nice, clean, convincing 2-0 for the first game. Oh, they didn't have a Tamiyo. It was face down. Okay, yeah, like flipping a manifest, like there's no trigger that goes on the stack. It's like, oh, what happened? I totally got gaslit and thinking that was there in play the whole time. I saw that they tapped the mana. Right, tech for Tarmogoofy. Brood-Scale Eldrazi. Now, I haven't actually played the Brood-Scale combo myself. I will say I like the look of this build. You're not playing any Sowing Myco spawns, which is interesting. Is that correct? Myco spawn is really dang good. You're also playing 4. Oh, we have 4 Ballista in the deck. I don't think I would play Ballista if you weren't playing like the Evolution Sage Cauldron. Like no Cauldron seems wrong. Yeah, I don't think I like the Ballistas here. Like you have the Fleshraker as your win condition when you're doing the combo. Yeah, I don't like that this is like mostly just good if you have the infinite mana from the combo. I would probably just play 0 of these. And then you get Myco Spawn in the deck, and Myco Spawn is very, very good. A lot of Thoughtseizes today. I would probably play a or a Soul Guide Lantern too. It's a Saga target. I'm not a big Drowner of Truth fan. Might be okay. Dude, nobody respects Basim, I tell you what. Although they probably should have taken Mox Amber. Wow, now I just get to go Basim, Mox Amber, draw a card, Emery. Get a basic island. I also don't think I would play Yavimaya. Yavimaya is like not really much better than a basic forest. So if I mill a Daredevil, I'll play Bauble to get it back, and then discard it to the cookbook. And I'm going to go ahead and crack the Bauble now because of Bowmaster. Quite a turn 2. You have 4 Revitalizing Repasts in the sideboard. I don't know exactly what if that's meant to be a different card, but they should not be here. I kind of like the Stone Brains on the board. But yeah, I probably played Myco Spawn over Ballista, or maybe World Breaker as like your extra imprintables. But overall, I like the look of the deck. Myco Spawn also just finds you your Saga, which is so nice. Animation module might be okay here, but Simfrog, Cannoneer, all get counters. Might be better. Yeah, I mean, not being able to search up Saga is kind of weird. The card overall is like just not even... I don't think the card is very good, which is a problem. But yeah, it's an interesting thought. So they do know I have second Basim, so they're talking to Emery. Little do they know, I guess, I also have third Emery, huh? Okay, so grab a cookbook. Replay Emery. Make sure I don't forget this Bauble. Get back another Daredevil. Not really worried about not having historic cards for next turn, I guess. Well, now I'm going to wait till the upkeep to crack the Bauble, because if they have another Bowmaster, I want to be able to Asmo it this time. Are they Necro? We haven't been seeing much Necro in the league lately. I don't think we played against Necro once last week. You need Drowner for enough Ugin Lab hits. Yeah, but if you got the Ballistas for World Breakers, then you have enough. And then you could go down, but you could also you could play Myco Spawn over Thought-Knot Seer potentially. Seer's like okay. Well, I think Myco Spawn is better, so you could play Myco Spawn and World Breaker and have this like land destruction package. And then you could play like two of the tap lands instead. All right, push on the Basim. I just have, you know, another Basim in my hand. I have another Asmo. When I saw that I top 8'd the Saturday challenge with Yidra combo, I even beat Mill turn 2 with 0 cards. The library deck felt very strong. That's awesome. I did not see that you top 8 with Yidra. That's really cool. I kind of got cold feet on our challenge on Friday because we had not a very good league with it on Thursday, but definitely very exciting to hear that you did well. I'm gonna crack the bubble now for Force of Negation, I guess. Haywire Mite. Haywire Mite. You have Urza Saga in this deck? Bait Biscuit with the 34 months. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I meant to cast Asmo number 2. that was a misclick. I meant to cast Asmo in another cookbook. I tapped Blue Man. I don't know how exactly that happened, but it happened. Thankfully, we're very ahead. Still no Kappa Cannoneers in the yard, though. I guess now we can save this cookbook for my historic card for Basim next turn. Okay, so that Haywire Mite is really throwing me off. Urborg, Urzasaga. I guess they're like the rack deck. I want to be bringing in push against basically every Bowmaster deck, so let's go ahead and do that. Trim a Amber, trim a Force. I'm going to trim a Kappa Cannoneer too, since it can be kind of clunky against these Discord decks. Thanks, Dunna. What's interesting is the other deck I have prepped, which I'll keep secret for now, is maybe even more exciting than this one. I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably play it tomorrow. I think this deck is really dope, though. It's so hard to cut Urza Saga from this deck. It's so hard to do, but at the moment I'm feeling it's just like definitely correct. Like you have 8 Dimir 2-drops, so you just like time walk yourself when you play Saga. It's like too slow against Boros, it's too slow against the combo decks. It is fragile to like Wrath of Sky's Haywire Mite. Their main deck Blood Moon is super popular. It's just like the deck has become so much better since we just don't play the Saga. And of course I was so enchanted by like Shadow Spear Kappa Cannoneer, but the thing with Kappa Cannoneer is it just kills them. Like you don't really need to lifelink it. Have I like tested the Boros matchup with the deck? I played against it once and it was I won by a very narrow margin. So I'm not sure. Asmo has been very good in the matchup. Frog is good in the matchup. Kappa Cannoneer is nice. Basim is fine. It's possible we want to have like one more sideboard card for them. Let's put back the Otawara. Right now I'm like cutting I'm cutting 3 forces and bringing in 3 push and so keeping in 1 force for like the ring. Don't you think neither 0 or 4 is the correct number of sagas? No, I think 0 is definitely the correct number of sagas. I feel incredibly confident at the moment. Probably don't need to say this every single time I open my mouth, but of course I could be wrong about that. But at the moment I have been loving 0 copies of Urza Saga, and I am not very close. Okay, that is a good card to know about, and I'm not very close to adding any copies of Urza Saga. I'm enjoying sagas in less numbers in a lot of decks. Yeah, I mean I'm very happy to have 0 at the moment, but it's good feedback for sure. All right, so we'll play a frog with the hopes of us being able to force the choke without them pushing my frog. No green mana from them yet, I guess. Yeah, I think at the moment I'm preferring to pitch Lorn Revealed instead of Kappa Cannoneer. Think Sunken Citadel could fit in the Crypt of Academe deck. The problem you should be able to use Citadel mana to impending the Overlord too? Well, you can only use Citadel mana on land, so that doesn't make sense. But it's like the problem with Citadel with Crypt of Academe is Crypt of Academe also enters tapped. So I think that you have like way too many tap lands if you build a deck like that. Go push this construct. I think the answer is no. I'm just going to go ahead and island cycle here. And then maybe I should discard my Mox Amber. It's bad if I draw Basim. I could discard Force, maybe. They don't have green mana right now. This is maybe just so silly with them having to choke. But I think my Kappa Cannoneer might just solo them, and I really want to cast it next turn. So I have to discard that. Okay, nice to have the shore. So now I guess we discard Island to play Mox, Cannoneer. Pass the turn. And now we'll at least have 1 mana if they do Time Walk themselves when they play choke, and then Super Time Walk me. Was Tomio in any of the early drafts? Yeah, I had like 1 Tomio over like the 4th Emery for a bit, and you could still maybe play Tomio, but our incident sorcery count is very low. And then you flip Tomio a lot without necessarily meaning to, because you draw a lot of cards, and like just the flip side of Tomio is not very good in this deck. You really want to have a bunch of instants and sorceries for Tomio, I think. Brewing with the Ring, Timsu mechanic, and Mox Amber to make legendary creatures. I have played the Ring Timsu mechanic a couple times. Usually, Birthday Escape is like the card I register. They top deck their green source. The Cannoneer is going to be a very tough one for them to beat. If we hit them next turn, like we remove Toxic Deluges and out. We also saw that they were playing Go for the Throat. So I guess I'm pushing a construct. They didn't cast a Shadow Spear, and my Cannoneer is killing them before they can Shadow Spear me, so we'll just try to stop them from being able to race. There's no 5 cards in their hand, though. Tarmogoyf. Well, I'm going to close my eyes and attack with Cannoneer this turn and next turn, and when I open my eyes, I hope my opponent has lost the game. I'm down to 11, and my opponent has 8, 9, 10. So I'm dead to them playing another Bowmasters, and I'm dead to them playing 2 artifacts. Can't sack a food. This is very funny. My opponent's philosophy is, I'm going to play Urza's Saga. That card is great in my green-black rock deck. I'm seeing 11. Maybe I miscounted. Either way, I mean, you know, we're dead to... Okay, so my opponent is holding back Bowmaster to block. That's a pretty good sign for me, because I can make my Kappa Cannoneer unblockable, probably. But not if they Maelstrom Pulse my cookbook. Maelstrom Pulse. I did not top deck an artifact, so let's go to game 3. Think of all the foods you could have killed, opponent. Maelstrom Pulse. Alright, let's go to game 3. We could not sack a food, nor could we have stayed alive by sacking food. They're just going to Shadow Spear me. We could have blocked. I'm pretty sure we were dead there, chat. I'm gonna use the restroom. Even if we could block, we're just not very likely to win.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike. What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike. What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Okay, sorry about that, everybody. We're going to keep this hand, where we can turn to Frog or turn to Emery, depending on what's still in our hand after a Thoughtseize. Although I suppose... Okay, so I can use this Bauble to scry. Also, look at my top card. If I like it, I lore and revealed on their turn. If I don't, I lore and revealed on my turn. I guess I'm going to do that. It's like a little bit worse against Thoughtseize and Frog if I don't draw another 0-mana artifact. But I don't like that card, so let's go and grab that Watery Grave. Sunder with the 20 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate ya. So this does let me Imri next turn should they Thoughtseize my frog. Mishra's Babble. Taking a peek. Pithing Needle. Probably naming this one. Yeah, that's okay. It is pretty good against me. I can work with this. Okay, so we can attack without making flying, because I'm totally happy to just discard 2 cards to kill the frog. You can discard. Oh, I guess I would grow the Tarmogoyf. No, but I could just exile my yard, so I can go like discard Cookbook, then exile my graveyard, then just 3 mana on an Imri. I do exile my Bauble, which kind of stinks. But a nice use for the Cookbook, since it's been needled. Don't mill any artifacts. Could discard both cards. Let's not do that. They do take the Force of Negation. Then they kill my frog, which is quite bad for me. 2 cards in their hand still. Draw Mox Amber. Very close to being able to improvise out our Kappa Cannoneer. I'm going to save the Mox Amber for Basim. You could play it out to play around Inquisition, though. Too bad I had to exile the Bauble. I mean, I guess I didn't have to. I could have discarded another card. There's an Urza Saga, though. Maelstrom Pulse on Imri. 1 card in their hand. And then we draw another copy of Psychic Frog, which is a welcome sight. Hopefully they don't have a 3rd removal spell. I'm going to pass the turn. Takes up Urza Saga to Chapter 2. Plays Verdant Catacombs. Love to draw land so I can play a Kappa Cannoneer. I guess a Bauble would work also. We do draw the land, so I'm not going to be discarding a card to kill the Construct, but I don't think that they're going to try to block, probably. Yeah, thankfully we dodged Choke. Okay, so my read was wrong. That's okay, we'll just fly the frog. Daredevil will be a fun draw here. So we're going to make a 5/5 Kappa Cannoneer. So if my opponent goes Construct, if they go Construct, Shadow Spear equip, they can attack with the equipped Construct unless I play a Mox Amber. So that seems worth playing around, just like saying you can't attack with a Shadow Speared Construct this turn. That's a pretty big life swing that I'm preventing by playing this. It's kind of, it's worse if I draw Basim, but it seems okay. All right, so there's a Construct. There's a Shadow Spear. There's a 5/6 Tarmogoyf, which I cannot shrink. So I think I'm going to go discard the Watery Grave and fly the frog here. They have 1 card in their hand. An artifact would be really nice so my Kappa Cannoneer blocks the Tarmogoyf. And Imri is fine. I exiled my Bauble. I don't know why I did that. Although there's an Oval Chase Daredevil, so that can go kind of nicely with my frog. Green Wire, 20 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, it's so funny that Saga is just like a card. I'm just kind of not playing that one anymore for the most part. All right, so they do equip. Gonna have to let this hit happen. Oh, I could also cast the Daredevil. Yeah, I don't know why I tapped. For some reason, I also thought it doesn't matter. I don't have anything else to do, obviously. Surprised I didn't grab Mite. Mite can't kill Kappa Cannoneer. It's only non-creature artifacts. Seems like they're thinking about sitting in a construct for 4 damage. 2 cards in their hand. 5/6 Nethergoyf. 1 card in their hand. Not going to be double blocking. Taking 6 down to 10. They're up to 17. Certainly out of my reach here. Draw a Bauble, which would be better for me to cast than the Cookbook. So let's put a counter on the Kappa Cannoneer. Buy this Daredevil back to my hand. Discard the Daredevil. Now, should I pump the brakes with the Frog? I'm probably going to cast Daredevil and then have 2 blockers. Am I dead to a removal spell on the Daredevil? I'll block here, and then I'll take Lethal. So I guess I am pumping the brakes. Especially because I'm drawing extra cards every turn now. And they do have a push for my Frog. So we do have to... Wait, sorry, are we... No, we're not dead because we have the Daredevil blocker. Okay, so we'll take a look at our top card now. Another copy of Frog. Play out Daredevil. We also have we have 1 chance to find a Fatal Push too. Hopefully they didn't have a Bowmaster as the 1 mystery card here. Seems pretty unlikely. Think that could have been deployed earlier. There's a Frog. Not a Fatal Push. Not a Force of Negation. Guess I don't need to have 6 though. So they'll push my Frog, and then if they sit with everything, I block Tarmogoyf. I can chump Nethergoyf, take 8, or I can block a Construct, take 9, go to 1, and then trade here. The problem with that is I die to a top deck Bowmaster at any point. What is this attack? Okay, I block Tarmogoyf. We'll find out. We know one of their 2 cards is Fatal Push. This might just be so that they can push Imri. That would be like the punt of the century if that was their purpose here. So we top decked a Fatal Push, which is pretty good. Why are you not attacking with Frog when it dies to Fatal Push? Because if their last card is a fetch land, I lose the game. Their last card could very conceivably be a fetch land. Go just fetch, crack, kill Daredevil. Game is over. So that's not castable. Oh, they attacked to gain life and not die to Kappa Cannoneer? I didn't think they... Were they going to die to Kappa Cannoneer? They might have, I guess. So get to graveyard that for a little bit of value. We have a pretty good attack with the Cannoneer because of the push, I guess. It's not perfect. We still take 4. I think we're going to chill. Just like with the Imri and the Frog, we just have like 2 card advantage engines. We don't really need to be too worried. We even have like 2 non-islands, so if they choke, it's not that big a deal. Okay. Also not a big deal. I'm going to probably discard this to Frog. I mean, my Imri is getting worse, but should be fine. Should be using the Amber just in case choke. That's true. So they have a Tarmogoyf on top. We have a Delta. So I think I'm going to go discard here. Fly the Frog, get in with both. for 13. Play second Daredevil, which does not lose to Maelstrom Pulse somehow being their last card. There's like 0 chance it's their last card also, so I don't need to worry too much about it, but if it were somehow, we would still survive. Leyline in the Tarmogoyf deck. I mean, it's not like the most uncommon thing ever. But also, like, rock players have never, like... rock players always need to feel very confident in their deck building decisions. Because someone has to, you know what I mean? Someone has to. Also, should have used the Amber again. Okay, their mystery card was somehow a Bowmaster. I don't know how they didn't cast that earlier than this. But now we know their other card is just a Tarmogoyf, so we'll just let this happen, then push the Nethergoyf, and then win the game. Very shocking that they just had this the whole time, though. Thankfully, we know what they're drawing, though. So we'll just push now. This is the moment when they are deterministically dead. We do have one more artifact to make this a unblockable 12/12 next turn. I guess they can play for me to miss my block. They play Tarmogoyf. They lose the game. Nice one. It looks like we're going to be 2-0. Spike playing Sagas too slow. Too slow. Bad in your deck with 8 Dimir 2-drops. Bad with all of the main deck Blood Moons. Bad with all the main deck Wrath the Skies. To like all of the Saga targets, like playing 3 Saga targets. And usually when you play Saga, you play 1 more land than you would otherwise. It means that you like don't have room to play 4 Asmo, like 4 of all of these cards, which I would like to have 4 of all of them. I think you could maybe play only 3 Kappa Cannoneer, but they pitch a Force and you can discard them, and they're also very good, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm also shocked that they had the Bowmaster. It doesn't really make any sense. Maybe the last card was Leyline somehow and I missed it, but I don't think so. Feels good to be 2-0 with Asmo. I'm like a big believer in this build, but I obviously Wrath of Skies is a problem. We're also main decking Force at least. I don't know. It's been feeling kind of nice. Let's keep this. Certainly looking for land number 2. I will probably, if I don't see a land on top, I'll probably fetch a Surveil land instead of playing Cookbook anyways. Yeah, Amulet is the Amulet. You know, Saga's still playable in Amulet. Ooh, Force of Negation is kind of interesting. Like drawing, I'm gonna Surveil instead, but like it's kind of tempting to draw and like hope the Surveil land hits our second land. It's probably just a little bit too greedy. Maybe a lot a bit too greedy. Entomb sets with 11 months they could go back. So 2 more looks at land number 2. Uh-oh. Lorne Revealed counts also. And cast Asmo. Well. A little unlucky. I guess 18 lands because of the fetch, and we've already played 20 lands total in the deck. With 4 looks at land 2. Force of Negation, pitch counterspell. Well, we have a second cookbook, so that's okay. Also, the Dimir matchup's been pretty good, but you know, worse when you miss your second land drop. No, it should be more than 70%. I think closer to 80, I think. You can do the calculator. It's good to like just kind of have these. Okay, so population size is after we fetch, it's 52. Sample size is 4, and there are 18 successes in our success. Yeah, 82%. Okay. Now, it's not exactly looking like my frog will beat their frog here, so I guess I'm going to grab Swamp or Island. Probably Island. Then go Cookbook, discard Daredevil, cast Asmo, cast Amber, cast Cookbook, kill Frog. A very timely land drawn. Do you think Scales is dead? I guess not. Like, I mean, I would probably be. I might say yes if I didn't see Mr. Seri very confidently posting the other day, like with a 5-0 with Scales. I thought his list looked pretty good. And so you know, I'm playing Asmo today. Mr. Seri's doing little Scales. Jeskai Control is pretty poorly positioned. You're not going to expect to see it in tournaments that often right now. So I think it is kind of safer, maybe not safe, but safer for the decks that were very weak to Wrath the Skies to try to peek their heads out. All right, 3 cards left in their hand. We do get to go Emry plus Frog next turn if the Emry resolves, because Mox Amber will be back online. They play an untapped Water Grave down to 11 life points, and then they unearth a Frog. So my Frog will be bigger than theirs, at least. Well, I guess yes, it will, because I can pretty comfortably put 3 counters on it, and they can't comfortably put 3 counters on theirs. That would be their whole hand, and then I could just discard a 4th. But I could discard a Daredevil, discard the second Daredevil to Cookbook, then discard 2 more. Oh, actually, I could go discard to Frog, discard to Cookbook, discard to Frog, discard to Cookbook, then discard to Frog, so 4 counters. So my opponent has a Fatal Push. It's obviously not ideal, but then we'll still have like Emry Kappa Cannoneer next turn. So they do have the Fatal Push. Do they have a second Fatal Push with Revolt? That's the big problem, I guess. How is Scales versus Energy? I think that Scales is pretty good against Energy. At least that's the impression I've been given from the Scales players, like, or Mr. Seri, I guess. I would love to hear if anybody has like a strong opinion on that, but so if they tap out for Murktide, we probably just win. No, they have Snapcaster Fatal Push. Kind of brutal. Snapcaster is, I think, pretty good in these builds. Okay, so we can draw Kappa Cannoneer, Basim, Psychic Frog, Asmo. So pretty good number of good top decks. We also have a lot of bad top decks, though, including that one. Maybe better to sack a food. I'm going to play a Cookbook instead. Which version of Yiga would you recommend if I wanted to try the deck? I know you have 3 versions. I played the latest build I played, although there is an Asmo version that someone submitted that I thought looked pretty good. I want to try. That is one thing about like Snapcaster in the Dimir deck too, is it's like a lot of times you really feel the fact that you only have 4 Fatal Push, and with Snapcaster you have more than 4 Fatal Push. Scales dude at locals keeps smushing me on energy. Matchup feels pretty bad. Yeah, I think that that's the case, and you know, Scales is a very powerful deck that is, you know, unlikely to be super bad against most things. Was Urza consideration? It's just way too high on the curve. And it's also only a card that you'll ask about once you have like 5 food too, but it's like we couldn't even cast it if we had it. I'm going to play my land out. Likely getting buried by the Frog though. Maybe I should force negation that. I might want to force negation like Unearth on Oculus though, but might be a little greedy. Yeah, I'll just go and force this. It's not going to be, like, get much better. This matchup was pretty good overall, though. We won round 1. I think our chances to win both sideboard games if we lose this one are still pretty high. And if they also just don't have a counterspell here, we do have a good amount of live top decks. Like, Kappa Cannoneer is still not raceable unless they... Okay, now it's... now it's basically just Asmo. Yeah, I think even we're dead to even if we sack a food. Was the latest one you posted yesterday on YouTube? And after that, I mean, I don't manage the YouTube uploads. I have an editor, but it's usually the answer is the latest one in Moxfield. So that I would look at the latest Moxfield. Asmo, no Asmo. Game 2. Yeah, Hexmage is for Overlord. I've been liking the Overlord Hexmage package a good bit. Okay, so 2 spell bombs, 3 push, out the forces, out an amber. Oh, forgot to actually bring in the cards. You can maybe play third Spellbomb. Maybe a third Spellbomb for third Amber. It's also a historic card. Let's do that. Yeah, the one with Goryo's. Gifted Goonie, 32 months. When is Tribal Frogs gonna be a thing? Well, we have Psychic Frog, we have Jade Avenger, we have Gitrog. Beyond that, we're still missing a few, I think. People not playing Snapcaster on other shows wild. Yeah, I feel like that was maybe part of my contribution to the deck, although our stream with Snapcaster Oculus was it did so bad. But I think our tutorials were maybe not great. I do think like the Satorial builds of the Oculus deck are really cool, but I don't think that they are great. What about pushes in the sideboard of the Jund Delirium deck for the Goyf matchups? Or for the Frog matchups? I mean, I've just kind of been liking the Frog matchup a lot as Delirium, so I don't think it's something you need, but if, you know, of course, if you don't think that's the case, if you think the matchup is bad, then you should play them. So I'm gonna get Swamp and then just cycle for a basic island. No push is good. I do want to prioritize spell bombing them before they can just cast an Oculus, maybe. Unless I feel like just pushing Oculus will be really good for me or something. Sheriff Shot. Okay, that is a phenomenal top deck. Also, the Spellbomb stops Murktide. It's interesting that they're playing Murktide in the Unearth builds too now. Hopefully I don't have Surgical. I'm just going to do this main phase because of Cling to Dust. I'll pop the Spellbomb. Yeah, you're right. The Grief ban was a really big hit to Satora. Like the whole Satora build too. Just like looping Grief was so good in those like Nightmare decks with Satoro. Such a hurt. Okay, so looking like a very fatal pushable frog. Let's get back a Nile Spellbomb. I guess they likely just drew this. So I guess the question is, should I just deploy Kappa Cannoneer and let them hit me with the frog ones? Probably, yeah. How's Basim been? Basim is like phenomenal in this deck. And phenomenal in general too. I've top 8 2 challenges with the card. I think Basim is like one of the most underplayed cards in Modern, if I'm gonna be quite blunt. Oh, sorry, I have enough mana to improvise and push the frog. So I guess we'll push the frog first, so if they have Pierce, we just pay. And if they don't, we'll just do this. This does mean one less counter on the Cannoneer, but we have a very steady stream of counters coming down, so I don't think we need to be too worried about that. Especially if we Imri back the second cookbook. So yeah, next turn we're like 5 counters on the Cannoneer if we want. I guess that's too many. It's both not enough to kill them in 1 turn and too many to really care about doing because it's going to be a 2-turn clock. I think I'll go for the cookbook anyways because Bowmaster would be not ideal. I guess it wouldn't even be that bad though. Even if they like kill my Basim here. They just like kind of can't win. Counterspell the cookbook. Deal. So we've got them pretty dead next turn. Let me take a look at my top card with the bauble and see if I want to draw it or if I just want to lure and revealed now. Yeah, I don't really care about that one. Yeah, not the disrespect on Basim is always so crazy. Just no one Thoughtseize it, no one counters, no one plays it. I guess it's just my invitational card. All right. Going to game 3. Did I work on Basim? Yes, I can't remember. I just can't remember what the card was like when consult. I'm think I'm gonna cut a Daredevil and bring a Spellbound Man. I can't remember what it was like when I consulted on it. Um, yeah, I don't know if I remember the if it didn't change much, what the original version was like, all that stuff. I like where it ended up. Yeah, Urza's just like way too expensive on the mana curve. It's like we're doing very good on threats. We have Kappa Cannoneer, Emery, Frog, Basim. It's just not, it doesn't seem like a very good one. Surgical would be bad. I'm just gonna go and do this now so to play around Surgical, drawn off Scour or for turn. Canter won't, huh? I guess I could go back and look at my like notes from the time maybe. What's Basim's relevance in Assassin's Creed? I don't know. I used to like Assassin's Creed a good amount. It's been a little while since I would have considered myself a fan of the series, I'll say. No force negation, please. Be so annoying. Slamming that one on top. Can't quite cast it next turn. That's okay. We're going to play Frog probably next turn. He's the playable character in Mirage. Yeah, I played 1, 2 Brotherhood, and then Black Flag. That was the pirate one, right? Whichever one the pirate one was. I think I'm just gonna play Emery, which is like a little weird, maybe. But Emery doesn't get Fatal Push and Frog does right now, so seems like a good enough reason for me. 3 was good. I think I started 3 and got kind of bored, but I can't really remember. Was part of the design process understanding Assassin's Creed lore, or is it purely mechanical direction input? It was purely mechanical, but they that was actually something they explicitly said. You don't need to understand the lore. You don't need to know about the game to consult on the game pieces. We're just looking for you to compliment or comment on cards that are too powerful or not powerful enough was the goal. All right, Million Thought Scours. We do have a Nile Spellbound in the yard, so if they have like an Oculus or a Murktide, they're going to want to tap out for it, but if they tap out for it, maybe I can slam a Kappa Cannoneer. I won't be able to play Cannoneer and Frog, right? Yeah, even if I draw a Bauble, I'll be 1 mana short. So it looks like they're slamming Murktide. Not going to want to Nile Spellbound probably and turn that into an 8/8. And they unearth a Frog. Quite the turn. And the Frog can grow the Murktide pretty fast. And I draw a tap land. So it doesn't feel very good. But it seems like I need to make a gigantic Frog. So my Frog is going to be like 6 power here. Guess I'll play the Shores. Need to dodge a Fatal Push, I guess. We can beat Snapcaster Push. Yeah. So now we have to find an Asmo, or we're gonna be too cooked. We might be dead here. I don't think so. Oh look. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's 6 counters. 14 plus 5 is 19. Yeah, we are dead. Dang. Cool game. Was there much consideration for Shore versus Gloomlake? I don't think there's much consideration with our mana curve, but I mean, Gloomlake would have been better here. I guess you basically never have, besides push post board, you never need black mana turn 1. Maybe Gloomlake is better. Tough one. 1-1 against Dimir. Fun match though. Remember when Ragavan was partner in the Murktide? Yeah. Not quite as powerful a partner in crime as Psychic Frog. Could or should this deck play some number of Flood Moons since Rough Saga? You maybe could, yeah. You maybe could. I'm not sure if you should. On the table. We are very, very blue deck. Yeah, red had the best creatures, best removal. It was a good time to be a red player. I kind of feel like they played it very safe with the red cards in MH3 because of that. So it's probably going to be a mulligan for me on the draw. Yeah. So I'm going to keep this hand. I think I'm putting back the Amber. But Tainted Remedy, you can use spells like Invigorate to kill opponent without using the stack. You still need to use the stack. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Invigorate also not legal card, which you probably know. But as far as like calling that out of nowhere is also kind of funny. Okay, because I put back the Amber, now I can't kill the Frog this turn, which kind of stinks. A lot of Dimir today. I think I should probably play my own Frog because I have the Force Negation. Did you play the Asmo Yeager deck yet? Not yet. So we played chicken here a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm okay just getting them out of cards in hand. Well, I guess they can leave just one card in their hand if they want to. They still bounce off each other, right? Okay. Or maybe I'm misunderstanding. Yeah, I think I'm misunderstanding. Oh my gosh, no! Oh, no, I just miscounted. Shame, concede. Sorry, chat. Not even sure, not exactly sure how I miscounted, but obviously we did there. I did. So anyway, no Frog. For some, I thought I had enough toughness for them to bounce off each other. Yeah, no college. Yeah, a lot of Dimir. We would be farming Dimir with we played energy. Shouldn't have mulliganed. That was our problem. Also, we kept the Mox Amber. Obviously, we didn't know we were just top decking. Was it Asmo or not Asmo? Sorry, getting a spam call. Don't love this hand. I think I'm gonna keep it on the draw though. Oh my gosh! Take a hint. Mute the phone. Puts on the roll to 6. Roll to 5. Oh my gosh! I'm on the play. Oh my gosh! Thanks, chat. Not used to losing. Should be though. That was a. Almost the spam callers almost cost us another game. Yeah, I think opponent thankfully wasn't F6'd. But it's tough. You get 3 spam calls in a row. You're embarrassed from the last misplay. Very easy to cascade here. I hate to get this spell pierced. Wonder if I should have spell bombed. Doesn't seem like I probably should have. I crack this now because of Bowmaster. Don't mind the 1-for-1 trades so much when they're on the mold 5. See if they have a frog, though. Frog would be, of course, not very good for us. There it is. So I've milled all of my fatal pushes just now. Were we afraid of push since we didn't play Bauble plus Emery? Well, we didn't have... Bauble plus Emery wasn't a line. Okay, my opponent's making some mistakes too. Bauble plus Emery wasn't a line because we got our artifact countered, right? So we just had to play a second Nile Spellbomb. Maybe it was a mistake. It was a mistake. They would have discarded it if they just wanted to fly the frog. So I think I'm just supposed to cycle again. I graveyarded the first one. We seem destined to have one. I guess I'll play around second spell pierce by playing Mox Amber before I play the cookbook. I'm sorry, what happened? Sorry, I meant to cast the cookbook. I don't... brain is really short-circuiting. Okay, whatever. Yeah, cutting frog for Netherwolf is pretty unhinged, although so is how I'm playing. Alright, hit by frog again. They're officially unmulliganed. It's not so bad, because we do need to be cycling for action, but I just wanted to get the cookbook going so when we find Asmo or Kappa Cannoneer, it's a bit more ready. There's our own Psychic Frog. Let me see if this resolves. And I think I'm going to cast Bauble and then just cast Daredevil. We could have played a land, then Bauble, then Emery to play around Pierce, but I guess that was a bad play. You're saying just play out the second Emery? Yeah, I don't think that was something that makes a lot of sense, but I've lost a lot of my sense anyways. They didn't have a Bowmaster last turn, so I'm going to go ahead and crack this now. Yeah, they probably have a Murktide or an Oculus in their hand, but it would cost them a lot to use it here. It seems like they have a counterspell with that pause also. We know about the Sinking Stupor, now we know about this Force Negation, so probably not casting Lore and Revealed anytime soon. Maybe I will if they force like my Spell Bomb or something, though. The Lore and Revealed also lets me cast Asmo if I cycle it. Talking about turn 2, I see Colding. So their hand is probably Counterspell, definitely Sink into the Stupor, Force Negation, Mystery card. They discard the Sink. They discard the Force to fly the Frog, presumably. They've used 2 pushes, right? Yeah, 2 pushes. They're hitting me down to 11 life points. Surveilling. Got some value. Let's start off by casting a cookbook. Getting that surgical there would have been so embarrassing. Yeah, so this not too surprisingly eats a counterspell, and then we island cycle. Grab Watery Grave, I guess. Cast an Asmo, which might eat another counterspell. It would make a lot of sense for that to be their last card. Was not. Okay, I will block with the Daredevil should they not fly the frog, so I think leaving this back to make them fly the frog is going to be correct. They flashback the Otherworldly Gaze. They might still have counterspell and decided to just not counter the cookbook or Asmo. I don't know if I think that that's right, but that might be what happened. My opponent graveyards, I think all 3 cards right. Yeah, they put the 2 lands and the consign in the yard. They shoot the Sheriff. Then presumably they'll fly the frog. Is Nightmare Archelaus a plan that's reasonable to try? You need to build the deck in a way that you will not automatically lose to Stormtron, Gorios, maybe Jeskai also. Ooh. Ghost Vacuum is really annoying against Imri. Dude, Ghost Vacuum is so good. So make them tap the Ghost Vacuum. Because I might be cookbooking back an Asmo. Oh, I guess that's not true because I have to discard to cast this one. Oh, what? They're just letting this happen? Bait with the frog. They just let me cast the Nile Spellbomb. Hey, what's up?
What time are you trying to do the factory?
Whenever. Actually, honestly, sooner the better because I am actually pretty hungry.
Ah!
Yeah, first time, right?
Right. Okay. Want to do it now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you, sweetheart. With the power factor, I can stop being so hungry that we make a bunch of mistakes. Since I've been like lifting so much weights, I've just been so hungry all the time. I'm just like eating nonstop. Use my code for 50% off your first order and 20% off the next 4. All right, going to game 3, like in our sideboard plan. They also sent us some like free, some free samples. Esther will show off too. I want to try Oculus in an Ephemerate build. It's kind of interesting. Some Cryptic Coat gaming. So we're on the draw with 3 looks at land number 2. So this time we have a population size of 53, a sample size of 3, a successes and population of 19. We only need 1. 75% to hit, especially with Fatal Push against Frog, which is super duper important. Let's click the keep button. Ding, ding, ding. Mathematically correct. Maybe I should have played Swamp. I'm going to save the Bauble so that I can get an extra counter on my Frog next turn. I probably should have just played Swamp Go so they're more likely to commit into the push. I might just look like Lore and Revealed though. Okay, good. We also haven't seen a Bowmaster yet. They might not be on Bowmaster. Could be Cope, right? Okay, so we'll play a Frog, we'll discard a Daredevil, then we'll play a Bauble. Can't we beat them for milling all 3 pushes? I mean, Asmo is very good against them. It's not too often that I'm like, Asmo is like our best card in the matchup, but Dimir is very popular. It's an interesting dynamic. All right, they have a shoot the sheriff. If they spend their whole turn shooting the sheriff, and then I get to like cycle lore and reveal, play Asmo, play cookbook, I'm not going to be too upset. They push instead of shooting the sheriff, which is like I guess that means they have a 1-mana counterspell probably. Untap land lets me Kappa Cannoneer next turn, so let's grab untap land. What's nice is Asmo doesn't get countered by Stern Scolding or Consign or anything. Although I guess if my cookbook gets Spell Pierced or Consigned, it's pretty bad. Not going to be a much better window than this, though. Nice. Squee with the 59 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Hope that you're doing well, my friend. All right. Second, shoot the sheriff. And then let's just slam Kappa Cannoneer because it's pretty hard for them to counter it, and it's going to be very hard for them to race it. Especially with us being able to play new Asmo, new cookbook next turn. They've also used 2 shoot the sheriffs already, so even if like they got up to 6 mana, the ability for them to kill this seems very low. All right, 6/6 Murktide. It's a sweet draw. So I'm gonna go discard Double Chase Daredevil. Put a counter on my Kappa Cannoneer. Then we'll go cast Basim. It's like the first time we drew Basim this match, which is kind of funny. It's been a long match. An opponent who respects Basim because they're a big fan, you can see in the chat. So that means they make their own play. Then we get to cast Asmo, kill Murktide Regent, play another cookbook, 2 counters on the Kappa Cannoneer, game over. Sorry, big fan. Not that they really, not that a counterspell is saving them. What deck should I expect to see at upcoming and paper Magic? You should expect to see a lot of energy, like even more energy than online. Probably more control than online too. But I also haven't played any paper RCQs myself, so my frame of reference might not be super accurate. All right, attack you for 8. Down to 9. Feels good for Kappa Cannoneer to finally feel like it's got a spot. Yeah, probably less Storm than on Magic Online, I agree. Okay, let's get a 4-1 prediction going. Pretty excited about this deck. This deck versus Energy. I've only played the matchup 1 time, but it might be pretty good. All right, so we've got... Should do a standing desk or do you want a sitting desk? Yeah. Okay. So Esther has prepared our factor meal so I can not punt because I'm not so hungry all the time.
Yay!
How long does this... Oh!
No, it's fine, it's fine.
How long does this take to make, Esther?
2 minutes.
With factor, you only need 2
minutes. 2 minutes. I'm good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So this one... Oh, we're gonna get that tall? Okay. Okay, so this is... Yeah, this one is the Parmesan and sun-dried tomato chicken penne with roasted green beans and pearl onions. So actually when I was looking through the ingredients, look at these macros. 37 grams of protein, pretty good.
Okay, that's pretty good. 35
grams of carbs, and 30 grams of fat. That's pretty even. That's pretty 3-3-3, you know? So also, it's made out of cauliflower penne. It's not real pasta. It's cauliflower pasta.
Gonna mulligan this hand.
So yeah. So here you go. Try your factor meal.
Thank you. I'm very excited. Why don't you show off the free samples? This stuff is free. It'll be free for y'all too if you use our code to sign up.
I believe so. So it's a free sample of an immunity shot.
Yeah, let me have that.
Yeah, you have that. It is turmeric, lemon, apple, ginger, honey, turmeric, and black pepper. If you know, black pepper helps activate turmeric. And then peanut, oatmeal raisin peanut butter bites. These are made with 7 whole food ingredients. Dates, peanuts, they're peanuts, so peanut allergies, beware. Dates, peanuts, oats, raisins, flaxseed, cinnamon, and sea salt. I've been wanting to try this. I've been obsessed with dates lately because of the health implications, right? But no, it's like a really good sweetener. I just haven't been wanting to blend my own dates.
It is
So
good. This is good.
this, let's try. Or at least I'll try.
You could try them.
The little energy balls, yay!
No, I mean, I believe it's only available in the U.S. So they do grab a Goblin Charbelcher. I'm very happy to have 4 consigned to memories in the sideboard.
Ooh, look! It's filled with peanut butter. It's filled. It's not blended. It's.